This teacher disguised himself as a student and blended into the worst class at Longhua High School. He saw the students busy making cheat sheets for the exam, writing them on their desks, legs, and hands. The students didn't notice anything unusual, and just thought he was a student from the next class dropping by.
Dude, is this reliable?
Of course. If it wasn't reliable, why would I copy it?
Little did they know, trouble was already on its way. Su Ming suddenly slammed the desk.
Raise both your hands. Don't move.
The students looked completely confused. Su Ming switched to a teacher's demeanor and announced,
I am the proctor for this exam room.
but no one took him seriously at all.
You're the proctor? Since when do proctors wear school uniforms?
Just then, the homeroom teacher arrived. Everyone hurried to hide their cheat sheets.
Class, he really is the proctor.
The students were shocked.
This teacher's hardcore, he's so free, he even wears a school uniform.
Su Ming put on his proctor badge. Now, the exam assessment was just beginning. He walked up to the guy from earlier.
You wrote the answers on your palm. Step outside.
Then, he walked over to the girl next to him and directly held out his hand, asking for her cheat sheet.
I don't have a cheat.
Su Ming picked up her water bottle, tore off the label, and found all the answers written inside.
Go stand outside.
Seeing how sharp Su Ming was, the other students didn't dare resist anymore and all stood up.
Everyone, my eyes are like rulers, don't even think about cheating.
So, will these students succeed in cheating? Next, let's have Bozy explain.
However, just as the homeroom teacher handed out the test papers, strange noises started coming from outside the door.
Ouch! Ouch! Ouch!
Su Ming went out to take a look and saw a chubby guy making a fuss outside.
Teacher, I just have a stomachache. I need to go to the bathroom right now.
But Su Ming exposed him without hesitation.
1 strange cry means A, 2 strange cries mean B, 3 strange cries mean C.
The chubby guy was so startled that he instinctively tried to run, but Su Ming grabbed him by the collar and made him do as he was told.
I can't betray my brothers.
Then don't blame the teacher for being harsh. Su Ming reached out and tickled him, making the chubby guy cry out uncontrollably.
Ouch! Ouch! Ha ha ha!
The underachievers inside, following his cues, sometimes wrote A, sometimes C, and finally changed it to D. The underachievers were left completely confused.
That's odd. This question should be A. Why did the chubby guy pick D?
The underachiever hesitated, but the chubby guy was a top student.
Oh well, whatever. I'll trust the chubby guy.
These students' tricks were even more troublesome than Su Ming had imagined.
It's been a while since I taught you all a lesson.
So he turned to ask the homeroom teacher.
Do you have any blank test papers over there? My hands are itching to write.
Without even thinking, Su Ming picked up a pen and started writing. The students below were getting restless.
If the teacher answers the questions himself, he should at least get 90 out of 100, right?
It would be great if we could copy the teacher's answers, but little did they know, Su Ming was even sneakier than the students.
If there are 3 long and 1 short, pick the shortest. If there are 3 short and 1 long, pick the longest.
The homeroom teacher saw that he was deliberately avoiding the correct answers and had no idea what Su Ming was up to. After Su Ming finished the test, his expression suddenly twitched and he began his performance.
Why does my stomach suddenly hurt?
He turned around and asked the homeroom teacher for a favor.
I'm not very familiar with the school. Could you take me to the restroom?
Seeing how uncomfortable he looked, the homeroom teacher had no choice but to agree. Before leaving, Su Ming deliberately reminded everyone.
Even though the surveillance camera is broken, we'll be right back.
As soon as Su Ming left the classroom, he returned to normal. The homeroom teacher finally realized.
You're using a baiting tactic.
Su Ming told the homeroom teacher not to worry, top students definitely wouldn't copy her test paper. As for the average students, as long as they understand the question types, they'll realize she set a trap. And for the ones who aren't good at studying, if they dare to cheat, they'll end up learning a major lesson for when they enter society. The homeroom teacher quickly opened her phone to check the surveillance. And sure enough, some students had made a move.
The new teacher is so dumb, actually trying to undermine us like this.
The underachiever quickly called everyone over.
Come on, full marks, full marks.
But one top student noticed.
These are all wrong answers. This teacher is really truly sharp.
With this trick, Su Ming caught 8 students cheating. Thanks to these tactics, Su Ming made a name for himself at Longhua High School. Everyone started calling him the demon teacher. You should know that before him, the students at Longhua High School had already driven away 99 teachers. The beautiful principal came up with a bold move. Whoever can fix the school's discipline problems within a month can marry her and take her home as his wife. Su Ming likes to take on challenges. Back in high school, he was a bit of a troublemaker himself, so he's very familiar with the tricks these students use. Plus, he has a secret weapon. On his very first day as a teacher, he awakened the tier umbrella system. As long as the host uses his own experience to stop students from breaking school rules, he will receive skill items. A week later, the Education Bureau will come for an inspection. So the female principal gave him a requirement.
Within 1 week, I want the entire school to have 0 cell phones.
Otherwise, the engagement will be called off. This immediately fired Su Ming up. That afternoon, 3 students were sneaking around with takeout. Without a phone, there's no way they could have ordered food. Su Ming went over to stop them.
Hand over your phones.
These 3 troublemakers were seasoned pros. Since the phones weren't on them, they flatly refused to admit anything.
Teacher, we're all good students who follow the school rules.
The girl standing nearby chimed in.
Teacher, you can't possibly search us, right?
The school rules clearly state that teachers can't violate students' privacy.
You're not allowed to search us.
But unfortunately for them, this time they ran into a tough opponent. Su Ming suddenly changed his approach.
Teacher, what are your names?
The boy in the middle looked a bit confused, but still obediently answered me. My name is Wu Fei. Right after that, Su Ming suddenly spoke to the phone.
Chao Yi, please call Green Bubble Wu Fei.
The next second, Wu Fei's phone started ringing loudly, and the unlucky Wu Fei had no choice but to hand over his phone. And this was just the beginning. That evening, during night study hall, he went to Wu Fei's class and announced that he would be their new homeroom teacher and math teacher.
There will be no night study session today. Everyone can relax a bit.
Su Ming put on a movie for them to watch, and before leaving, he reminded the students.
Don't turn off the lights.
He was worried that if the dean found out, they wouldn't get this kind of benefit again. The students obediently agreed, thinking that Su Ming didn't seem as scary as the rumor said.
He let us watch a movie during night study. This is real royal treatment.
They all took out their phones to play, not realizing they had already fallen into a trap. Half an hour later, Su Ming and the homeroom teacher quietly came to the door, and the students had no idea. Then he suddenly pushed open the back door of the classroom and quickly turned off the lights. Each young face was brightly illuminated by the glow of their phones.
Let's count together. 1, 2, and 3.
Su Ming told the class monitor to collect the phones, 15 in total.
How are you supposed to study well like this? Really?
Sure enough, Su Ming was their fate. Just because he has the face of an angel doesn't mean you should let your guard down against the enemy. A pink-haired student wanted to vent everyone's frustration, so he secretly took out a piece of paper during class. In class, he secretly took out a piece of paper on which he had drawn a frog, along with the two characters Lonely and Solitary. While Su Ming was teaching, Pink Hair quietly stuck the paper on his back. When Su Ming turned and walked toward the podium, the classmates all took out their phones to take pictures, planning to upload them to the school forum to embarrass Su Ming at school. But just as everyone pressed the shutter, Su Ming suddenly turned around, startling everyone into hurriedly hiding their phones under their textbooks. Unfortunately, it was already too late. Su Ming took the paper off his back and made everyone hand over their phones. From then on, all the students at Longhua High School were terrified of Su Ming, and no one dared to bring a phone to school again. Su Ming received a system reward, a master-level lockpicking skill. Su Ming didn't know what use this would have, but he was sure that the system's tools were meant to be used on the students. Sure enough, the next day, as soon as he got to class, someone refused to hand in their English homework. That person was none other than our unlucky classmate Wu Fei, who had just secretly crumpled up his English worksheet and tossed it into the trash can. But unfortunately for him, Su Ming had already set his sights on him, because
Back row, by the window. The king's hometown.
it's also a hotspot for not doing homework. He told Wu Fei to stand up, then reached out his hand for the homework. Wu Fei gave a classic excuse.
I forgot to bring my homework.
Su Ming mercilessly replied.
Forgetting to bring it is the same as not doing it. That's just great for me.
Wu Fei explained with a serious face.
You know what kind of person I am.
Back then, you tricked me once and I obediently handed over my phone to you. I wouldn't dare lie to you. But Su Ming wasn't buying it at all. He immediately said he'd call Wu Fei's parents and have them bring the homework to school.
The big villain is so ruthless.
Wu Fei had no choice but to keep making things up.
Both my parents are at work. There's no way they'll bring it.
Su Ming said it was okay. Just give the key to the teacher and he would go to your house to get the homework. Wu Fei spoke without hesitation.
I left my key at home, so I can't get in.
His two best friends gave him a thumbs up. The lie was full of holes, but he could tell it without blushing or skipping a beat. Truly impressive. Wu Fei was feeling quite pleased with himself on the side.
This excuse is flawless. Now the big boss can't do anything to me.
But Su Ming didn't call him out. Instead he said,
But, as your teacher, I have a special skill. I know how to pick locks.
Wu Fei didn't believe it at all, and neither did the other students. How could a teacher do something so sneaky? Su Ming borrowed a hairpin from the homeroom teacher and asked him to lock the classroom door from the outside. With everyone watching, Su Ming opened the classroom door in just 1 second. The students were stunned. Su Ming casually threatened Wu Fei to go home and get his homework after class.
If I find out you didn't do it, you know the consequences will be serious.
Wu Fei had no choice but to admit defeat.
I'm sorry, teacher. I was wrong. Actually, I really didn't do the homework.
Su Ming was quite pleased. Although Wu Fei hadn't done his homework, admitting his mistake was a good start, so he punished him by making him copy the homework 10 times. Under Su Ming's management, Longhua High School took on a whole new look. On the day of the Education Bureau's inspection, Su Ming had everyone wear their military training uniforms and attend class in an orderly fashion. The Education Bureau gave high recognition to this. Su Ming completed the principal's task and finally won the beauty's heart.